All right. We're going to talk about Behance and how do we build our portfolio, getting our portfolio page created in Behance. We've just signed up to Behance using our COD email and our COD password to get into Behance. We're just signing in using our COD email and password because that's tied to our Adobe ID, and Behance is owned by Adobe. And so when you sign into Behance, you don't have to create a new account. You use your COD account. It's going to take you right into this dashboard. And this is your dashboard where you can edit your profile, put your name and information in here. You're a student, graphic design student at College of DuPage, United States, Illinois, Glen Ellen. You can connect it to your LinkedIn, to your Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want. You can do a little about me section, put a little bio about yourself in. It's a way to promote yourself. So once you've done all that, back to profile. Here's where we're going to create projects. And for each class in the graphic design program, you're going to create a project. We're going to do that for our poster project we just finished. So this is where it's going to go. But before we go into here in Behance, we have to build out the file. And so let me walk you through that. Here I am back in Blackboard, and I'm going to our weekly checklists. This week is week 9. And here under our homework, we're going to create our Behance portfolio page. So we're going to use our Adobe ID, right? We've already created our Behance. We've already signed into Behance. So what we're going to do is develop our page showing the process of designing our poster. This is a free tool. I want you to work with your poster. I think you all did amazing work on your poster, and I want to see you build that into your Behance. I like to do this now during midterm because it gets real busy at the end of the semester, and we might put another one up, but let's get this one up and out of the way. And then if we can always add more. That's not a problem. So I'm going to link you to this Google Drive folder. So right here, there's link to the Google Drive folder. And in that folder, there's a Behance Portfolio Guidelines, which is a PDF file. There's a Behance Illustrator template file. That's the one we're going to be using. There's also an XD file. We're not using that one. Do not grab the one that says XD. Only grab the one that says Illustrator. And then there is a guidelines demo video. So beyond the video I'm making for you right now, if you want another video walking you through this process, it's in this folder as well. So if you click on this folder, the Google Drive folder, this is what it looks like. And so you'll see the video, another demo video is there. There's an XD template. Do not use that one. And here's the Illustrator template. And then there's a Behance Portfolio Guidelines. Okay, so I have the Illustrator template open, and it's right here. So let me zoom out so you can see it fully. This is the template. So I want you to see it's made on one outboard. And I want you to notice that there are little words, hero, description, process, blah, 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 all with highlights in pink. It's highlighting in pink because I don't have the font that was used for this template open. It doesn't matter. These are off the artboard. Notice how these are all just notes for you. They are not to be included. They're off the artboard, and they're just showing you where things are going to go. The other thing I want you to notice is there are sections here, and you'll see there's guidelines. See this blue guidelines? These blue guidelines are showing you that's the screen width. So when we're looking at Behance actual size, and let me move up Illustrator here. Notice in the lower left-hand corner here, I go 100%, and I show my screen at 100%. This is 100%. It fills my screen. Okay, that's 100%. When I use my command minus, I go down a little bit. Now I'm at 66%. So remember to check your work when it's at 100%. So here is the text area. And now that's 100%. so I can see what does my type look like at 100%. This type is already sized the way you want it for the website. So what I've done is we need to add a description. We need to talk about the problem we're going to solve. So let me show you a couple things. First, you saw that there was a PDF document in the folder, and it was the portfolio guidelines PDF. So that's what this looks like. This is the guidelines PDF. It's going to help us plan and format. It's going to show us how to tag and set the settings up in Behance and how to add tags in Behance. So right now we're on number 1, planning and format. So the way this works is it walks you through. So the width of your artboard layout should be 1400 pixels. That's the recommended size by Behance. And that is the size of the template we're giving you. So this template that I'm sharing with you, if you look up here in the corner, it's 1400 pixels. So using this template automatically sets you up for success. It's the right size. Let's go back to our guidelines. So the first thing is we're going to tell our story of the project. So the question is, what was the project or problem you were solving? And then what process did you follow? And what was the final design solution? So let's go back to this template. And what I did is I went onto our project brief. So we're going to do the poster project. And that's the Principles of Design poster project. So what I did is I went to the project brief and I just copied it. I just went over here and I copied it. Command C. I came back over to Illustrator and I pasted it in here. Now I'm going to zoom in back to, I'm going to go a little bigger so we can see it. I'm now going to personalize it. The copy's in here. I'm just going to edit it. I'm going to make some changes. So like, I don't probably need the word the brief. I'm going to probably just take rid of that and just have it be design principles poster. I don't really love that name. So maybe, maybe we say poster. Poster. With, no, I don't want to say with design principles. I'm trying to think of what would be a catchier name. Like I want to have the title be a little catchier than that because it's about you. So it's a creative introducing who's my wordsmith here? I'm trying to think of a good name for this. Introducing myself. Poster. Maybe that's what we use. Self-introductory poster. Yeah. Could do it that way. Self-introductory poster or introducing myself poster. Which one do you guys like better? Any other ideas? I just want it to sound a little sexier, you know, something less than just poster or design principles poster. I don't know. We'll start with it. You can do either one, but I think if you come up with a better name, share it with us. We'll keep workshopping this. So in this project, personal creative brief. That's a good one, Luna. I like that too. So in this project, instead of saying students will use, say I used. So here you're going to just update it to a person. You're going to make it first person. In this project, I used Adobe Illustrator to create a one-page poster to introduce myself as a creative. And then going into I focused, I incorporated, I would say I incorporated, however many principles you incorporated, I incorporated you know, 5 to 7, however many incorporated, 7 principles of graphic design. I take this out. And then my poster had to include text and images to convey a clear message of who I am. The principles of graphic design, I'm going to lay out because we can take that out. We'll talk about that later. So in this project, I used Adobe Illustrator to create a one-page poster to introduce myself as a creative. I incorporated 7 principles of graphic design. I'm going to say throughout my poster. Throughout my design. So I have poster is the next thing. Let's say design. My poster had to include text and images to convey a clear message of who I am. Okay, so there it is. So that's my introduction. And then you're going to talk about your design rationale and your design principles as we go through the whole piece. So this is, again, just telling you the sizes and things. So for example, it's saying your header should be 36 points. So I'm going to change this right now. It's 20. I'm going to change it to 36. The subheader, I don't have a subheader. The paragraph should be 16. I'm going to double check. Yep, mine's 16. So there we go. So that's my introducing myself. This is just notes. And you know, once you have these information, you can take them and put them to the side. I'm just going to select them all. I'm holding, grab all of those guys, and I'm just going to put them over here on the side. So this is introducing myself poster. If you had a name for your poster, you could also do that. Oh, behind the art, a self-introductory poster. I'm kind of loving that one. Let's try it on for size. Good job, Rain. Let's try it. Behind the art. I like it. What do you think? How does it look? Let's make these capital. Yeah, I kind of like that. What do you guys think? Okay, there's an idea. All right, so there we have our first info. It's real easy. You're just taking it right off the things I've got, and you're just kind of wordsmithing it. The next thing is we have a hero. So notice the sections up here. Now I want you to see that these are just rectangles, and they're colored gray to show you the space. That doesn't mean you should keep them gray. You will see, sometimes I see a lot of students use the gray as their thing. So I'm going to actually go over to our mural and grab someone's poster real quick, just so, well, actually, let me just, I'll do it together with you guys. Let's pull up mural. Let's go off of our bookshelf. Let's go into, would anybody be willing to let me use you as an example, your project? Does anyone have a complete process board? Who is it?
I would.
Michaela? Okay, thank you. I just need someone so I can show how we would put this work in. So let's see, where's Michaela? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going on Michaela's mural board, and this is one of the beauties of having your mural board. All of your process work is right here. So we can just grab it from here and use it. So here's Michaela's final. So I am going to go up here and I'm going to download her final. I'm just selecting it. I'm using a selection and I'm going to download it. I'm going to come over to Illustrator. Now we're not going to fit the whole poster here, this is just a little like banner. We're going to put just a tease. We want to hook people. This is what they're going to see. They're going to see this little window. And so it has to be exciting. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to say file, place, and I'm going to go to my downloads and grab. And I'm going to make it big. I'm going to say okay. Hold on, I got to back up. I was too big. So I'm going to make it big. And obviously you can grab this art. All right, just it's not letting me grab it that way. All right, so obviously she could do, this is an Illustrator. You could just grab your Illustrator file. I don't have her Illustrator file right handy, so I'm just going to use, I'm grabbing the PDF. Either's fine. So I'm grabbing it down. And what I want to do is I'm going to use this piece and I'm going to copy and paste it. And I want to grab a bit of it and I'm going to crop it. So I'm going to grab this rectangle. I'm going to grab her design and I'm going to go up to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. Now I have this little thing. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to put this up here in my hero. It's just going to be a little snippet of the poster. It's a tease, you know, we can't see the whole poster. I'm going to maybe want to adjust it. So here I'm using my direct select tool and I'm going to use my scale tool and I'm going to click and I'm holding my shift key down because I want the color. I don't want the border. I just want, you got to hold the shift key so you don't see what happens when it wants to, it's trying to twerk. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to adjust it. There we go. I'm trying to get her headline in. There we go. Boom. Look how cool that is. So now I have my hero image. And now it's just a tease. We're just showing a little bit of it so that we get people kind of like, oh, what's all that? And then we go into this part. Now, this feels like we could do more here. That's sure. We could put in, we could grab one of our colors. So I can grab that and I want to bring that in. Or maybe I want to bring that in, or maybe I want to bring a purple in. I don't know. You know, you want to bring the colors of your poster into your whole piece. This is another design project. So I want you to remember that, and you know, we have layers. So I'm just realizing I'm off the layer. I forgot to tell you about that. So there's layers. Each thing has a layer. So the hero has its own layer. The description has its own layer. So I have this guy. I need to bring it down by pulling my color down now to the description layer. That's why it wasn't working. So make sure you put, open up your layers palette because you're going to put each designed part on their own layer. Okay. So here we go. So we have friend to all critters, behind the art. And you know, you can also change this up. You can keep it real simple. You can change the color of it. I can say, I want this text to be on a darker, you know, the background darker, and I want the text to be, maybe I want it in my color palette, or maybe I want it just white. You know, you can do whatever. And then we have the next section. So the next section is process. We're going to click on the layer for process. I'm going to go back to my mural board. Now here's where you want to kind of walk through the process. So think about it. What is the first thing we did? We did a little mind map. So we can come in here and I can make, select this area. I'm going to bring it in this because I feel like it's so little in this, and I'm just going to, or maybe I don't want the blue, maybe I do, or I want to change it. That doesn't matter. I'm going to pull it in. There we go. I'm going to get it where I want it. And then I'm going to say download, selection, download. I want my mood board. So I'm going to select my mood board and I'm going to go download selection mood board. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and then grab you probably have the PDF, you have these somewhere. I'm going to grab my process sketches. Those are real important. People want to see how you came up with this fantastic idea. And then you can see the one she chose. So then you go into the sketch you chose and you want to make sure you download that or have that. You guys have these. I mean, I'm downloading because I don't have them, but you have them in your file somewhere. And then you have these digital roughs. So I would probably, you can show all the variations or you can decide to show just the one that she did. So I'm going to just to simplify it, I'm going to grab these ones that she did and I'm going to say download those. And I'm not going to deal with these little variations because they're pretty small. I want to just show the kind of the bigger steps. We don't need to show every aspect. We can just show the steps that matter. So now I'm coming back over here to my Illustrator file. And I want you to see that we have different sections. So right now they have different parts. So it's helpful, I think, to create little headers. So what I like to do is I'm going to grab this, I'm going to copy, paste. And the reason I'm saying that is so that, excuse me, it just saves a step. I don't need the copy. I'm going to put here. I'm going to put the text back in black so I can see it. And here I'm going to say design process. And here I might in the subset, mind map and sketches. And then what did we say? The subhead would be 20 pixels. So I'm going to take these here and make them 20 pixels. And then here you can write about it. If you want to add a little more context to your design rationale, you can here, or you cannot. You can have it just be a header, whichever you like. And then I'm going to go ahead and go file place. And there's my mind map. I'm going to go place. It's going to be giant. It's okay. I'm going to grab the scale tool and I'm going to, oopsie, bring it in. Maybe I'll bring it the full height because I want people to be able to read it. So there's my mind map. And then maybe down here, I'm going to go file place. And you can kind of, like I said, just start bringing this stuff in and then see how you want to arrange it. Okay, it's not letting me do it that way. It wants me to do it this way. Scale. All right. So and remember you're kind of designing each section. So you can you don't want to make things real small. You want to get things. So here, for example, there's this gray background. That's the template background gray. I don't want to use that. I want to pull all my colors from my final poster. So I'm going to say over here now, I want this to be blue. This is my blue section. And so this might be, this is my mind map. I couldn't fit the sketches here. Or I could decide to keep the sketches here. Hold on. Maybe I want to keep some of my sketches here. Maybe I want to pull these up here and have them be part of it. I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe those two go together and then I go into my next section here. And you know what? I want to get these lining up. So I'm going to use make sure I have my rulers on. Remember, Command R turns your rulers on and off. And I can pull a guideline over and line up my type. There's alignment in work. We're using alignment. We're going to keep using those design principles as we go along. So I want to align all my type to be going the same as I go down this. And so now this is going to be refined sketches. But you know what? I don't like how tight this type is. Let's give that a, let's return that, give it a little more space. Okay, so you get the idea? Are you guys following me? Let me pause and see if we have questions. No
I just
questions?
got lost at the beginning. Like I don't know how you got from the Google Drive um
Oh,
like
okay. So,
file to Illustrator, or how you pulled that into Illustrator.
okay, so let me go back to the Google Drive. Okay, so here's the Google Drive. So the file you need is this one, Behance Illustrator Template AI. And you just go to download it right here. So download this Illustrator file. Do you see that?
Yes. Sorry. I'm writing this
No
down.
worries. No, that's fine. I just want to make sure we all see where to get it. That's a good question. Good one. And then once you download it, you'll have this template that I'm using.
And then you just open that in Illustrator.
Yep, just open it right in Illustrator and it'll open up. So the thing I want you guys to be aware of is when you open it, it has a file that has all these layers. So we have description and then process. Now I caught myself. I put everything on description. These two guys, I'm gonna hold shift, and this. They're still in description. I gotta scoot those guys down and bring them into process. So once I get my hero done, I can lock it. Once I get my description done, I can lock it. Now I got my process, I can lock it. That's done. Now I'm going to go on to design what they're calling brand guidelines. We obviously, this isn't a branding project. We're just going to keep going. Okay, I see a couple questions in the chat. Let me make sure I answer those. Does COD delete our email addresses when we leave, like in high school? Actually, yes, COD will delete your emails 6 months after you leave. This portfolio that you're doing in Behance, you can add a secondary email to it. So when you get close to leaving, you can do that. You can also add a new, create a new Adobe account, because your Adobe account that you're using in school is linked into this, and it's part of like the what we use for school. But you'll be able to add I believe I'm almost positive you can add a secondary email to the Behance, because the Behance can go beyond, obviously, Behance. It's 3 months, not 6 months. Okay, thanks for correcting me, Antonio. I thought it was 6 months. I will look into that to find you. Let me look at my Behance. Let me finish the tutorial in this part, and then we'll come back to the Behance email. Okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, so other questions about using the template? Looks like we're understanding. So the next step is and I would just keep going down. So the next one is this number 4 here. There we go, number 4. And again, I'm going to pick another color because I want each one of my sections to have a different color. So I'm going to grab the orange now. And I'm going to go back to my downloads where I've downloaded. I'm going to go file, place. Now, again, if you're working all within Illustrator, you can You don't have to do that. So a couple things. Okay, yeah, it's not letting me do it that way. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to pull that up. So I can also adjust this crop because you can see how there's like some extra stuff I might not want, or if you get like this situation where this could probably be scanned in better. So if it were me, I would probably rescan this so I get a better scan of it because I want to show it. I want to show this process, but it's not a great scan. I can do a couple things to kind of improve it. I can make a box that I'm going to crop into, which is what I think I'm going to do, and I'm going to rotate it a little. Oops, let's find another one. I'm still in the box tool. Let me rewind this. I want to just get in there. Oh, there we go. That's good. So I'm going to grab both of the box, the picture and my box. I'm going to go back to object, clipping path, make. Okay, now I have just the part I want. Don't want all that extra stuff. I'm going to scale it to fit. I like to get things as big as possible so people can really see. Don't put little tiny pictures in this. So this way people can really see the images. If they're too small, people can't see them. So you notice how I'm filling the space. I'm not making them, I'm not taking and floating a tiny little picture here and saying, there you go. You can't see that. So make sure you're really filling the space like that. Yeah, a small paragraph is fine. I mean, just having it say basically what your process, you're telling a story. So remember, as a graphic designer, you're always telling a story. So like even I'm looking at this, I'm going, I probably want to move this picture over here and move my type so it kind of zigzags a little bit. Oh, I think my type is on the other artboard. Is it up here in process? No? Zoom, zoom, zoom. I locked it. There we go. That is on the wrong layer. If you're finding you can't select something, you probably accidentally put it on the wrong layer. I am catching myself doing that. It's real easy to do. Oops, I'm moving stuff everywhere here. Okay, that goes up there. Oops. Object arrange, send it back. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to move type to this side. I'm going to move. You want to kind of have things move your eye from side to side. You don't want to have it be too same. So there we go. So now I have the sketch. And then here's my final design. So here I'm going to go ahead and go place. Oh, these are my refinement folders. Hold on a minute. I got to put those up here. Maybe I'll put those in. Not letting me do that. That way. There we go, bringing them smaller. I'm just holding my shift key always so that I don't. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these three down here. My design application is my poster, so I'm just moving that down here. These are going to be, I'm going to do it this way. I want these three in a row, so I'm going to go like that. I'm going to go like that. I want these three in a row. And then again, I'm just going to make a clipping path. Michaela would have the actual files of these, so she wouldn't have to be doing it this way that I'm doing it. This is just because this is what I have to work with. Okay, so now I have these kind of lovely digital wraps. And so then that's the next step. It's copy paste, bring this down, pull this back here, and I'm going to slide that down to the next one. And then this is my digital roughs. And I would like to see, as what I'm saying, you're going to add some type along the way. And you're going to tell me, like Michaela's going to tell me the story. And you're going to talk about your design principles as you're kind of getting into. So you guys have all written your design principles for this project, which is why I think it's a great one to use, because you can really talk about your design rationale. Like, how did you use your design? You know, how do you understand design principles? And, you know, so for this one, I might go white. And then I'm going to come into the final design. Nope. Did I grab your final? Oh, yeah, I did. Place. So, oh, goodness. Why won't this let me just select? Maybe it's because they're PDFs. Moving my shift key so I don't tweak it. There. And so the final design is there. And I want to make it's green. So maybe this goes here, and then maybe here's where you put in your design principles, or you can be putting them in all the way along as you go. So I'm going to zoom it up. Now it says extra if needed. Yeah, we probably don't need this unless you're going to do a mock-up. Now you can do a mock-up, put your poster in a mock-up, show it on a wall. Totally fine to do. And if you don't need it, you just, you know, delete it. You just get rid of it. I might get rid of the square anyway. So yeah, so and again, you have room to add copy along the way. And so you see some blank spots I've left here to, you can just, you know, add your copy in. Long layer. Yeah, and so then when you put your copy in, remember your minimum size is 16 or bigger. So this is 20, so I'm fine. And I've been using Helvetica. You can use whatever you like. And then I'm probably not going to have that much copy, so I'm going to pull some of this out. Let's say that's it. And then maybe I have another thing. Maybe I have that there. And then maybe down here I have that there. So that is, that's my Behance, more or less. And again, when you're putting things in, use the guide. So even like I can see, I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, these guys are all crooked. I'm going to pull a guideline down so I can align things, make sure everything is aligned and as neat as it can be and centered. I'm going to use all my alignment tools up here to make sure they're centered and neat, right? So those are the things you want to think about as you're putting things in, making sure everything's really neat and organized and feels like a good flow of talking us through the process of making this poster. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do a file save as. I'm going to save it on my computer. And I'm going to save it on my desktop for the moment. And I'm going to say Behance demo. I'm going to save it as an Illustrator file first, so I have it and I can always go back to it. Now you can see over here, you can see that, let's say I don't need this extra piece. I can click on the artboard, which is the button on the left, and I can scoot this up here to shrink my artboard. Notice how my artboard is now smaller. So I've shrunk my artboard so I don't have that extra space because I don't need it. Okay. Notice how there's a tab here that says guides. I can go ahead when I'm all done, turn that off. Turn that off. You don't need this. This extras thing I don't need because I just got rid of it. I'm going to delete it. Okay. These here, this I should put in guides. Hold on, I'm going to scooch this little description of the type sizes and stuff. I'm going to grab that and scoot it down here to guides, and then I'm going to turn my guides off. So now my guides are all off. I'm looking at my file. I'm going to go back and fine tune it, make sure everything's good. I'm going to spell check. Please spell check everything, right? Make sure. And then I can go ahead and save it. Save it. And then I have a couple options. I can go file, export, and there's a for screens, export as, save for web, legacy, go to save for web. This is going on a website. I don't want it to be a GIF. I want it to be a JPEG. Make sure you save it as a JPEG. Optimized high, right? Actually cancel. I'm not going to say go to web because I'm afraid you're going to do the wrong thing. Let's go export. Let's go export as. I think that's better. Has us more control. Let's go JPEG. Use artboard. All. There's only one. Okay, export. It should be RGB. It's going on a screen. Something like that. Go quality. A little larger. We don't want it to be too large of a file. It won't. Maybe leave it at 6 because I don't want it to be too big of a file or it's not going to load well for you because this is a lot of images and it's a pretty big file. I'm say okay. All right, and then I'm going to scooch over back over to Behance. Wait, that's not Behance. Where's my Behance? That's my PDF. Oh, actually, we'll talk about this next before we go back. Okay, so we finished our design. So now, let's just make sure we've saved it as a JPEG. That's how we want it. Definitely a JPEG. We want to make sure the image is well. As long as you've used the template, you're fine. We've got to make sure that you don't get up to be above 1 megabyte. So let's see how big ours saved as. I put it on my desktop. Oh, I have a lot of things on my desktop. Demo. There it is, JPEG. Okay, it's 897 kilobytes. I'm good. I'm good. That's a good size. So there it is. It's 897 kilobytes. Okay, good. I made sure I have all high quality images, which we are because we're using all vector. So everything should be fine. We've made sure we saved it as RGB. And we're good to go. Okay, so the next thing is we go back to Behance and there's a list of tags. So let me pull up Behance so you know what we're talking about. Let's go over to Behance. So here's Behance. And I'm going to go create a project. And I'm going to go image, desktop. And I'm going to grab my image I just created and say open. So there it is. So there's my image I just made. Yep, and I'm scrolling. Look at it's all there. Beautiful. I'm assuming it's perfect, which you and I both know it's not because I would have had it perfect, right? Because you guys are going to put more time into it. Then you see this little button up here. It says add tags. Let's click on this. That's a tag for this picture. So you can just name it. What did we call this? We're going to call it, oh, I forgot what we're calling this. Ah, behind the art, a self-introductory poster. That's right. Is it right there? It's right in front of me. I don't know why I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to tag my image. I'm then going to go over here to settings. And I'm going to go ahead and put the behind the art of self-introductory poster. I'm going to do tags. And so here's what they're talking about. So up here in this is back to the guideline sheet. Each project should have these 3 tags. Now, graphic design COD, portfolio, the year you're in. So what year is it? 24. So don't put 22. I know this says 22. That's when it was created. It should be 24. And then course name, faculty last name. So for us, we're going to do graphic design 1, Decker. And you see how it's written? Graphic space, design space, 1 space, and then Decker. Okay. So let's try that out. I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to do, let me zoom in. Oh, there we go. Graphic design COD, and you should see it propagate because that's one we use all the time. So graphic design COD is your first one. Okay. And then portfolio space SP24. And that should be propagating as well. And then graphic space design space 1 space Decker. Okay. And then I'm not going to hit publish. I'm going to save it as a draft because obviously this is not my work. I'm just going to save it as a draft so you guys can see it. And I recommend you start by saving it as a draft so you can just take a look at it as a draft. So there's a few other things we have to do. So we have this. Perfect. There's a few more things we need to do. So let's go back to settings. What software were we using? We were using Adobe Illustrator, right? So we're going to just put Adobe Illustrator. What would you correct? This is a graphic design project, right? It's an illustration. Those are the 2 you're probably going to be using. We're going to make it available to everybody. We want everybody to see it. And we're going to add a co-owner, credits, and more. So let me click on this. And I'm going to add, my co-owner is going to be graphic design COD. Or is it COD graphic design? Did they do it the other way? Hold on. COD graphic design. Okay, now I'm forgetting. What am I doing wrong? I've got to go back to my list. We did the optional tags. There's walking us through how to do it. Graphic design COD. That's what it is. I have to add spaces. I didn't add spaces. So our co-owner is graphic design COD. There it is. It pops up. It has this look. So you'll know it's right. Graphic design COD. There's spaces. I didn't add the spaces before. So there it is. That's our co-owner. And that connects you in with the COD portfolio for all COD work. So I would do that. You can put your project description here. It does make it more discoverable. So again, I can go back to the design brief. I'm going to go back to Illustrator and just show you real quick. Oops, wrong thing. Stop it. I'm going to go back to Illustrator, back to my little description I made right here. just to make it more searchable, because this is in my image, I'm going to grab all of this and copy it. And I'm going to go back here and I'm going to put the whole thing right here so that it's more searchable. Okay. I'm going to say done. So now I have it all here. I'm going to make these all uppercase. So little things like that. I'm going to finish upping it. Okay, I'm going to save it as a draft. Okay, so now I can zoom out and look at it as a draft. Check it, test it, maybe have a friend look at it. You know what I mean? And then once we're ready, we can publish it. Okay, I'm going to pause here and see if we have any questions. Any questions? And Michaela could add on this one, because she has this kind of gradation, you could have these little squares be gradating too. I mean, really, whatever you'd like. You made a copy of this template from the Google Drive and it's not working.
Yay, that's so cool.
Tell me about, yeah, what's happening? Sharing. Hold on one second.